do a dead row. So coming down to your knees and stopping, wide elbows, arms hanging, coming back down and then standing back up again. Good. So really squeeze those glutes as you come up to standing and squeeze the shoulder blades at the top of that. Good. Lovely. 2 more like that. We're just warming ourselves up, warming those joints up. Lovely. And 1 more. So down, pulling, lowering and standing. Nice. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. Let's do an upright row. So coming up to the bra line, no higher. Nice high and wide elbows. Good. Looking good. Weights moving along the front of the body. Good. And then coming back down again. The best thing you can do for your joints is use them. You get this stuff called synovial fluid moving around inside the joints, and that brings blood supply to all those soft tissues that don't have much blood supply. So it's a good thing to do for your joints. So 2 more. That's 1 and another 1. Good. We're going to do a combination move now. So a deadlift, just like we did at the beginning, down to the knees, stand up, back to that set position, nice and strong, and an upright row. You've got it. Good. Combination move, hips and shoulders. Good. Nice and gentle to start off with. Lovely. And lift, and we'll do 2 more like that. And then the warm up will be done. Good. Beautiful. 1 more. Lovely. Okay. As we've got the weights in our hands, we're going to work our shoulders. We're going to start with 1 arm, just sending it out straight in front of you and bringing it back down again, and then swapping to the other side. So weights come up to shoulder height, body stays still, and squeeze your glutes to support yourself here. Good. So the fronts of the shoulders getting a little bit of work here. Keep those wrists neutral and keep that body still. Just squeezing the glutes forwards, squeezing the core backwards, and that's how you stay in that strong set position. Shoulders will be starting to feel this. Good. Let's do 2 arms. Now the core has to support you a little bit more. Nice and slow, and keep those shoulders relaxed. So shoulders aren't coming up around the ears. You're pulling those shoulder blades down the body. Good. 2 more like that. That's 1. That's 2. And then we're going to come up to here again. Now that's the starting point. Arms come out to the side. And now we realize we're actually lifting some weights. Good. So supporting yourself with that core, softness in the knees, softness in the hips, shoulders down your back, and opening those arms out and closing them. Good. Long straight arms. And as you open your arms, I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Be aware of your back. Good. And if you think about it, this is pretty much the same move that we do down on the floor when we do the chest flies. You've got the same picture. It's just that the gravity's in a different place. When we're down on the floor, we're using our pecs. The pectorals here, we're using the fronts of the shoulders. 2 more. I know, starting to get hard. That's where you get stronger. Last 1. Well done. And then bring those weights down. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. That was the fronts of the shoulders. So let's do the backs of the shoulders now. We're going to use a hip hinge. So we hinge. And those arms come out. Arms are long again. Anything with fly in it, the arms are long. Good. And then stand up and bring those arms up at the same time. So we'll do the hinge and the arms at the same time. So arms coming out to the side and back up again. Good. And again, we're working really slowly here, which means working with precision, the core and the glutes. Get a little bit of work here as well as those shoulders. Long straight back, neck in line with spine. Good. Hips going back. Lovely. So working the back of the body. Good. 2 more like that. Good. And last one. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to do the upper back while we're standing, and then we'll do the glutes after. So we're going to do similar moves to what we've just done. We're just going to go heavier. So get rid of the light weights, get the 2 next weights up that you have. I'm going to have a look at those dead rows and those upright rows. So in that strong set position again, we're going to stay in this hip hinge and do that wide dead row. That's 1. So stay here in the hip hinge, and 2, and 2 more, and then we're going to stand up. Good. And then stand up. Feels quite different when you've got a lot of weight, right? Let's do that again. So hinge, lock the body in. We're doing 4 of those dead rows. Nice. Those elbows only coming up as high as is comfortable. Nice and wide. And 1 more. Lovely. And then stand up. Good. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. Let's do some upright rows now. So coming up to the bra line and then back down again. So with this one, fronts of the shoulders and the upper back are working, but we're going to make it just a little bit more dynamic. So a little bit more speed. This time, you're going to come up onto your toes and send your hips forwards as you come. So send those hips forwards and lift. Backs of the legs getting a little bit of work, and that back of the body as well. That's it. So we've got that movement with the arms. All we're doing is coming up onto those toes and sending those hips forwards. Good. Coming up and down. 2 more like that. Lifting. Lovely. Let's go back to those wide dead rows. So we're going to do 8 this time. So coming down to the knees and doing 8. So pulling, that's 1. Nice and grounded in that hip hinge. Elbows coming up. Lovely. Halfway there. Probably starting to feel it. Squeeze those shoulder blades together at the top. 3 more. Good. Oof. And the core and the glutes starting to burn. Last one. And come back to standing. Well done. Now we're going to do that combination move with the deadlift. Coming up and upright row. Good. So deadlift and upright row. Now you can add that heel lift if you want to this time. Heel lift. So hinging, standing, and your heel lift. Just working those legs a little bit more, those calves getting involved, squeezing those glutes forwards. And you probably find when you start getting quite happy with this, that your hips want you to go forwards. You've got to actually stop yourself from going forwards. That's the core. The core is our brakes. That's how you stop yourself from falling. Good. 2 more like that. You're doing great. And lift. 1 more. Oh, that upper back. Well done. Lovely. Stop there, and I'm going to get you to get rid of 1 of those weights and hold the other one in both hands. Now I'm only going to come down to the knee so you can see me. You're going to start with those elbows in front of you, and that weight is going to come up overhead and then come back down again. That's it. The only reason the elbows are in front of you there, Penny, is so that you don't hit yourself in the face with the weight. So they don't have to be super tight. It's just as long as they're coming to the front rather than the side. Because anything up overhead, your face might get in the way. I know, because I've done it. It's not very nice. Good. Lovely. One more. Good. Now we're going to start with the weight here at the chest. You saw what I was doing with the weights overhead. We're going to do a hip hinge, little hip hinge. That's it. And then stand up and pop that weight overhead. And come back, a little hip hinge. That's it. And push that weight up. Come back down so we can make it into one move. Lifting and lowering. Good. Welcome to the squat press. So that range of motion with the hips, if you want to go deeper and if it feels good, go for it. I'm not going to push it with my old and battered body. As long as you're working those muscles, the range of motion is a totally personal thing. 2 more like that. You might start getting a little bit out of breath with this as well. That's normal. It's not because you're unfit. It's normal. Good. And stop. Well done. Now we're going to come down to the floor. Now it's time for our little lie down. Supposedly, bring a heavy weight with you. We're going to work our glutes. So what am I going to go for today? So the heaviest weight you've got that you can comfortably put between your hips. You want to be able to hold on to it. And you're going to set yourself up with your heels as close to your hips as you can get them. Hold on to that weight. That's great, Tash. Thank you. I can see you now. And tuck your chin slightly, look up at the ceiling. If you want to watch me, you can for the first ones. Sending those hips up slowly and then bringing them back down again. Good. So hips go up and they come back down again. Good. Now this is a very in-trend exercise at the moment. Loads of people doing hip thrusts in the gym and you'll see them using really big weights, and you can. The only problem with that is you need the setup. So you need to be able to safely get those weights onto your hips and off of your hips again. So this is why we only use light weights. And we use lots of repetitions. This is endurance we're working on here. Let's go a little faster. So coming up for 2 and down for 2. Squeeze those glutes. You'll start to feel a little bit of a burn in those muscles. That's good. That means they're working. It means they're getting starved of oxygen, and that's how you get stronger. Good. Up and down. 2 more like that at that pace. And then we're going to change the pace. So let's come up for 1. Oh, and then come down slowly. So resist the weights down. Good. Up for 1 and down slowly. Nice. Up for 1 and down slowly. So just check in with your hips and knees. Make sure they're even. The knees are not wobbling. They're staying hip width apart. Down slowly. 1 more like that. Up for 1 and down slowly. Now we're going to reverse that. So we're going to go up slowly. So up, 2, 3, and then down for 1. So lifting slowly. And now things start to get hard, and down for 1. And you're not just dropping down, you're still in control as you drop the weights and the hips down. Good. Up, 2, 3, and down 4 more like that. Up, 2, 3. Really pushing down into the floor with your shoulders and your feet. 2 more. Nice. Last one. Well done. Bring your hips down and take that weight, if you can, comfortably hold it above your head. I'm going to go straight into tricep extensions here. Can you hold that weight on both sides? Whatever is comfortable for you. Good. And then bringing the weight down towards the forehead and back up again. Good. So keep the upper arm. That's a bit between the elbow and the shoulder, just pointing straight up to the ceiling. And the weight comes down to hover above your forehead and then goes back up again. The tricep extensions. Nice big muscles on the backs of the arms. These are our pulling muscles. Good. 2 more. Lovely. Now the glutes have had a rest. So stop with the weights up overhead. You're going to push down into the floor and lift your hips up and just keep them locked in. Hips not moving, but we've still got them switched on. And do your tricep extensions. Good. So forehead, weight comes down to the forehead. You're squeezing the elbows in, really loading the backs of those arms. 2 more. And of course the glutes supporting you. And last one. Well done. Bring those weights down to your belly and then bring your hips down. And we're going to reverse that. So weights come up and hips come up. Yeah. And then back down again and bring the elbows down by the side of the body. Good. Push away from the floor, lifting and coming down. And let's do that again. And down. Lovely. Now I'm just going to check in with you both here. With this move that we're doing, if the weight feels super light, stop, get up and get the other dumbbell. Because this is a really nice, slow and controlled tricep press that we're doing with a glute lift. And we can do 8 slow ones like this, just with a slightly heavier weight. So keeping those elbows tight, pushing down into the floor and just lifting those weights up and lifting the hips up and coming back down again. Simple, simple. Good. Lift. Everything goes up at the same time. Everything comes down at the same time. Beautiful. 6 more. Lift and come down. Good. Halfway there. Yes. Keeping those wrists nice and neutral, working our pressing muscles. And 1 more. Well done. Lovely. Bring those weights down to your bellies safely. Roll up. And we're going to get rid of the weight. Now, we're going to flip ourselves over and come to all fours. We're going to do a little bit of core work now. So tuck your toes under, come up into a down dog. This is our starting position. And we're going to come forwards into a high plank. That's it, shoulders over wrists, yeah, and then push those hips back. We're going to gradually increase the amount of time we spend there. So inhale and come forwards into that high plank, a little bit longer this time, few extra seconds. Breathing, and exhale back to down dog. Well done. Inhale and come forwards and keep breathing. A little bit longer this time. Good job. A few more seconds. 2 and 1. And exhale, push back. Let's go for 15 seconds. Last one here. Good. Now breathing here, keeping those hips high. You don't want them to start coming down. You want to keep that core engaged. We're about 5 seconds out. Keep pushing those hips away from the ground. Lovely. And sink back into down dog. Oh, well done. Okay, bring your knees down. Bring your 2 heavy to medium weights back with you. And we're going to do our chest flies. We've done a lot so far today. We're doing really well. So, setting yourself up with your feet flat on the floor again. I'm going to go slightly at a 45-degree angle so you can see. Keep those arms straight. Remember, with the flies, arms are straight and weights come open. So similar to what we were doing with the shoulders before. But this time we're using the pecs. Good. And coming back up again. Now you can adjust the range of motion here as well, because as your arms and the weights get closer to the floor, that's where you'll start to feel the weight a lot more. So if you feel like you're out of control, just go to that point where that starts to happen and then lift those weights back up again. Finding those edges is really important. Those edges of where you're comfortable, and then very slowly pushing them. You don't want to be going straight into those edges. Good. 2 more like that. because this is quite a heavy weight we're lifting. Good. Last one. Nice. Okay, bring those weights down to your bellies. Now, because we've got quite heavy weights, we're going to do some chest presses, but let's have the feet up off the ground so that the core can work as well. So shins parallel to the ground, knees floating. That means they're not pushing against each other. And we're going to lift those weights up and then bring the elbows out to the side. At this time, the elbows bend, push the weights up together, and then weights come out. I'm going to turn 45 degrees so you can see. And out to the side. That's it. And you want to just feel the floor just underneath that upper arm. You don't want to allow your arms to collapse all the way down. That's it. And taking care of those wrists. Good. Yeah, keep those legs locked in at 90 degrees. Shins parallel. I'm just going to turn this way. Opening and closing. That's it. Good. 2 more. Oof. Last one. Nice. Now we're going to stop here with those weights above your head. Keep them there. Everything is locked in. We're going to extend one leg out until it hovers just above the floor, and then it returns to that neutral position. Now, any pain in your lower back, you want to do the slightly easier version, and this is the slightly easier version, that 90-degree angle in the knee. The belly is going to start to burn a little bit here. That's it. And you can do anything in between, so you can extend the leg and just have that foot going a little bit further away, but maybe it's not a full extension. Good. Keeping that connection to that lower back in contact with the floor. Good. 2 more. That's 1. And that's 2. Oh, well done. Bring those feet down and bring those weights down. 1 last set of chest presses. Your choice whether you want to have those feet on the floor or up. So arms are out and they come up and down slowly. So slightly heavier weights here, which is why I'm not messing around with the tempos at all. We're just doing a slow up and a slow down, but also the core is loaded here. Good. Bending the elbows as you come down. Nice. Keeping that connection to your core. Oh, even if your feet are on the floor, you're really pulling that lower back down towards the floor because the core will help you here with these pushes. Good. 2 more. And last one. Woof. Well done. Bring those weights to your belly. Safely come up. And then get rid of those weights. Good. Come back to lying down. Let's stretch our glutes. The hard work is done. We're in stretchy mode. So you're going to cross your left ankle over your right knee. You're going to push that left knee away with the left hand. And this is going to stretch that left glute and into the left hip. If you're not feeling any stretch here, you can take a hold of the back of the right thigh. If your head comes up off the ground, that's fine as long as you're comfy here. Use your core to hold your head. And of course, and you're there already, Tash, we can add a hamstring stretch with the other leg. And you can also rotate through your ankles here, which is nice. Lovely stretch for those glutes. Let's swap over to the other side. So I'm not going to be able to demo on this side, but same thing, right ankle goes over left knee and right hand pushes right knee away. And so I'm going to talk you through that, but also show the alternative, which I will do, which is to come into that 90-90 position to stretch the glute. So reaching and taking a hold of the back of that left thigh and pushing into the heel to really stretch through the hamstring as well, if that feels good. And here I am in the alternative, making sure the front foot is flexed, stretching through that glute. Good. Come up to all fours again. We're going to stretch our back, that upper back. We did a lot in it today. So coming into child's pose. And child's pose with your hands reaching as far away as you can get them. So really spread those fingers. Bring your forehead down to the floor. If the floor's not far too far away, you can put a block there and reach those hands away. Do a nice stretch in your upper back and the backs of the shoulders. And then come into a side bend in that child's pose. So reach your hands over to one side. Feel the stretch down the side of your body. Into the armpit, down to the hip. Inhaling, and then as you exhale over to the other side. Inhale, and as you exhale, come back to center. Let's do our cat stretch. So exhaling into cat stretch. Inhaling into cow. Tuck your toes under, come up into a down dog. Again, we get a hamstring stretch here and an upper back stretch. A beautiful pose just to stretch the whole back of the body. And then come into a forward fold. Look towards your knees and roll up to standing. Good. Open your arms out, stretch your chest. So squeeze your shoulder blades together at the back of the body. Reach your arms behind you. And then the triceps. The arm comes up over, come down so you can see. Don't mind which arm, and then take a hold of the elbow. And you can come into a side bend if you want here as well. Open out, cheeky chest stretch in the middle, and then other side. Last but not least, let's give those shoulders a stretch. So arm across the body and the hand just above the elbow, and just reach across your body with that hand. And that stretch down the sides of the shoulders. And open out and do the other side. Good. Class. Well done, ladies. And thank you for coming. Any questions, comments or feedback, just let me know.